Right, now that I got the scraping done, I've identified several spots. 1, 2, 3 decent sized ones, little one here, maybe a little one up here, one there, and one up over here. So what I'm going to do is try to give those a little bit of help before it comes time to do some finishing. And I'm going to use what we talked about, the Git Rot. It's a 2-part process, part A and part B, and it actually comes with a little bottle that shows you how much to mix so you can get a 3-to-1 ratio just right. Unfortunately, I don't have very much left. I don't really need a lot for what I'm doing. So I'm just going to, I've got my 3 parts in for that. I'm going to guess at my 1 part. You don't want to guess a little too much though, because then it'll harden up on you quicker. Whoops. Sure you mix it really good. And of course, when you're using this stuff, follow the directions it comes with. What I really like about this stuff is you can keep painting it on in situations like this, on small areas, and the wood will keep soaking it in. The reason I do this is as this stuff gets wicked in, this is an epoxy hardener, it'll get in that wood and it'll prevent it from rotting, and it won't have a chance to rot out on us anymore. You can see how it just, you paint it on there and it sucks it right in. Over here. Plenty in there, and keep going until you run out, or until it stops sucking it in. This stuff will harden up after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on how you mixed it. Okay, let's run up to that other one. Notice how I kind of go down so it ends up getting sucked in the cracks. You want to fill those gaps and let the wood suck it up. Alright, now I can feel this getting warm on my hand, which means it's probably starting to harden already. I'm sure I went a little heavy on the 1 part of the 3-to-1 mix. Okay, well, I'm going to finish painting these up, and then we'll come back for the next step, a little finish work before we paint. All right, well, I came out and checked, and the Git Rotted areas I did are nice and hard, and this stuff is ready to go. So it ain't soft wood no more. But I still want to fill these gaps, and I still want to prevent water from getting in. Plus, I found a couple other spots like right here, over here, and over here where I worked all the bad junk out of. And I'm ready to fill these too. Now I got 2 choices when I do this. I could either get a pre-mixed, ready to go filler like this Platinum Patch at one of the big box stores. And this stuff's okay for standard regular wood repairs. But when I'm working on the marine stuff, I like to go get the 2-part epoxy. This Evercoat, this is water resistant, good for everything. You know, they say it stays on wood permanent, but that's all up to the wood. As I said, it comes in 2 parts. And this whole tube here is going to equal what's in here. So this hole in here. So when you're mixing it up, you want to get a good chunk out of here and run a line across it. And I've already done that. I got mine laid out ready to go. And if you look and see, I got all my epoxy here, and I ran a bunch of hardener into it. Now that might be a little extra hardener, and you kind of get used to what you want to do, because the more hardener you put in it, the quicker it hardens up. Well, that might be good if you're in a hurry, but that might be bad if you don't get it all on the boat. So I'm going to mix her up right now. You want to mix this stuff up really good. So the hardener has a chance to get everywhere. And then I'm ready to go. Now, I'm on a time limit here, because once you start doing this, you got to be ready to go. So what I brought with me are 2 different things. I got the regular one for putting it on, maybe a little bigger if I need it. But to go over the large areas, like right here, you get a nice big one so that you can get nice smooth output. There we go, let's get started. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure you do everything you can to force this stuff into the big bad holes. You want to work it around, back and forth, up and down. Make sure it gets in there good and it gets a good grip on that wood in there to harden with. Now is a good time to get a bigger one. Now, one thing you want to remember, you're going to get this on here and you're going to want to end up sanding it down a little bit. Just about always plan to do 2 coats though if you want to do a real nice job. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more innovative DIY projects. Now I've given my fairing compound all over a chance to harden. It's time to come right out with the scraper and knock all the big nubs off. A lot easier to do this than it is to gum up your sandpaper. I got me my orbital sander with the medium grit on here. And I'll mix myself another batch of the fairing compound and I'll do a second coat and clean this up nice. Okay, as you can see, I got my final coat on here and I did my best in order to get a nice smooth coat and not have too big of a bump so I don't have too much to sand down. So all I got to do now is sand this down, clean it up, blow it off, and it's ready for paint.